And this morning, you have to move faster to Grandpa in Dansoman. Call him on 020-985-5696 to make something special like this for you to wear to places. And speaking of it, tonight will be a night for Samini. Samini and the Image Bureau guys organizing something special, strictly by invitation though, ahead of the 40th birthday celebration of the music Colossus at the Labadi Beach Hotel. We'll be there to support him in grand style. But call Grandpa 020-985-5696. And a happy birthday to our former GMB queen from the Volta region of Ghana. She represented the Volta region, Juliana Bubune Chikata. We call her Bubune or Bubu, popularly by those who are very close to her. But Bubune came second during the year in which she contested. Juliana Bubune Chikata, and it's her birthday today. She's also the CEO of Davies groundnut paste or peanut and also groundnut paste industry. Fantastic, doing great job and employing up more people. And belated happy birthday to Sir Obama of the NPP in Pokwasi. It's your birthday, my brother. Happy birthday to you. And this from Opemu, Fawas, and all the guys. Happy birthday to you. I've been joined in studio by our parliamentary correspondent, Mr. Komla Kluche. Did you know that he's called Courage Yaira Komla Kluche? That's his full name that he writes on the exercise book. But for some strange reason, he has decided to leave those out and be called Komla Kluche. He's a parliamentary correspondent. We're zooming into Parliament to find out what's been happening there. Komla, welcome. How are you doing? Should I use Courage or Yaira, or you like Komla Kluche just like that?
So you want me to confirm if those are my names?
No, those are your names. I know HR has confirmed to me. What are you denying?
So to satisfy you, those are my names.
Those are your names?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Are you okay?
Why did you decide not to use Courage?
I still use them on my passport.
On your passport?
I'm yet to get a Ghana card. I am hopefully will be on it. I haven't changed anything. All
is it on your mobile?
For security reasons, I'll not disclose.
My momo, the security for home. Kamala, what's been happening in Parliament this week?
A lot has been happening. I mean, topical, as many would expect, as the Sosu thing has been on the trends from last week.
Okay.
So now, even as of yesterday, it was still in the top trends in most of the portals and the news media outlets. On the floor as well, has been a topical issue. So yes, but on Tuesday, Parliament started, and we almost had a confrontation between the Joaboso MP Kwabena Minta Kando and the local government minister Dan Botre over
Why was that?
the DC and MMC elections,
right,
and all that. Kwabena Minta Kando was in the house to talk about some of the mishaps, how the DC nominee for their district got elected when members of the assembly had been allegedly prevented from going to cast their ballot because of some suspicions that they were against the man, the
nominee
machinations. Yes, but when he came to the floor and made a statement, yes, it was a statement he made specifics to his constituency. But then in concluding, one of the things he said was, this is not an MPP matter, this is not an Nana Akufo-Addo matter, but it's a thing that should be of concern to all Ghanaians. And the response that he had from the Minister of Local Government, Dan Botre, who was in the house, to him was quite unpleasant, because he felt that that is not how the minister should have treated what he thought Parliament would have made a position on. Already in the past, some MPs have come to the floor to talk about how it was. Even the Speaker himself at the point in time. In fact, the opening statement of the Speaker did touch on this, where he said that MPs are not supposed to see themselves in, for want of a better expression, as teen gods in the process of the approval of confirmation.
I remember on that occasion he had said that the privileges that MPs enjoy regarding how they're regarded, they're respected in their various localities, is because of their positions as MPs.
Absolutely.
And that if they go misconducting themselves, he would have cause to summon them before the Privileges Committee.
Yes.
But that really did not stop people from doing what the Speaker had warned them against.
No, because if you look at it with the specific instance of what the Joaboso MP was saying and citing other examples, that the Kumewu MP, of course, we had seen him. I think our correspondent had sent in a video of how they prevented him, the security guards, the police and national security prevented him from entering into the assembly hall for the confirmation of the MCE, and then other MPs who have faced similar difficulties. They felt that they were being handed a raw deal. They were not being treated fairly. So the only thing they could do was to draw the Speaker's attention and get the House to either make a resolution or make a referral to an appropriate committee on this. In fact, Damboche described the statement by the Joaboso MP as baseless, and he was surprised. Yes, of course, those are his words. We've got a video there, I'm sure.
But we'll try and connect with the video shortly.
He said that.
So let's listen to the video. This straight from Parliament.
Before the presiding member could convene and preside over a meeting of the Assembly members as mandated in both the Constitution and Local Government Act, 12 members of the Assembly, and not in consonance with the letter and spirit of both Article 2443A of the Constitution and Section 5 of Section 17 of the Local Government at the official residence of the District Chief Executive. This series of events delineate a well-crafted scheme, popularly referred to in the local parlance, elimination by rough tactics, to guarantee approval or executive, which may be unfavorable to the elected representative of the people or the generality of the citizens in the district. For this reason, I would like to call on Parliament as a House to constitute a probe into areas where are reported to have taken place and to propose measures to rectify the situation. This is not a cause to be left at the doorstep of the executive or presidency. This is not an issue that can only be dealt with by the ruling MPP. This is not an MPP Ghana or Nana Akufo-Addo's Ghana. This is our country. Cure this cancer before. Mr. Speaker, I'm unable to see at what point the executive arm of government is involved in that. For it to merit, surprisingly, a statement that has been admitted on this law, that this is not a cause to be left at the.
That's the MP for Joaboso and also is a ranking member on the Health Committee, the Kwabena Minta-Kando, and the Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, Dan Kwekubuchi, MP for Okre. Now, so this back and forth, what was the end game?
Well, the Speaker, who has been the chair for the whole of this week, that's the former MP,
MP3,
who is the second Deputy Speaker, Andrew Esiama. He said, in fact, when the discussion went on back and forth, it was supposed to have been referred to a committee. Normally, that's the ideal thing, that it's referred to a committee to either investigate, to cause a probe, whatsoever in it. But the second Deputy Speaker said he was limited in getting it referred to a committee, so it was left hanging just like that. It presupposes that the problem has not been solved. It's not been given the necessary referral. As to whether the House will come back to it, we are not too sure about it then. But one thing I pick up, which angered most of the minority members, is for Damboche to question why the statement in itself was admitted. In fact, he's calling the integrity of
the Speaker.
Absolutely, because the Speaker is clothed with the sole authority to admit. The moment he admits, it means that he has gone through it. He's satisfied with it. So he had incurred the displeasure of the minority guys, and subsequently, the Joabosu MP was saying that this is not a minister who is deserving of his post. He's further asked that the president should give him the boot. Well, as to whether that would be heeded to or not, I will be surprised though if it will happen.
I hear you. Let's get into our second bit from Parliament. That's a video for you.
Yes, you know, this issue happened between Soso and the police. And then based on that, Soso have cited 2 police officers. And then the Speaker have referred the matter to the Privileges Committee. So Speaker have given a directive. But what the issue that is happening now, they are flouting, the Speaker's directive. And it's like disrespect to the Speaker as well as Parliament. And then I think because they cited those 2 officers, it is time now the Speaker cites the IGP and Police Administration to the Privileges Committee. Because what they are doing is they are breaching Speaker's directive.
The police say they are operating within the ambit of the law. They have legal backing to effect any arrest whatsoever.
Yes, you have legal backing to arrest, but you must follow the due process. I get it. You must follow the due process because before you even arrest any.
That's the MP for Keta there. He says he would cite the IGP for contempt. That also came up because of Francis Xavier Sosu's issue, MP for Medina. Where are we now from Parliament's point of view?
Yesterday had the surprise to many of us. We got to Parliament almost at 10 a.m. We were called that the majority had a press conference, an emergency press conference, only for us to get there, and they decided that they were not going to address the press, but rather give us a statement. And the content of the statement basically was saying that the Speaker was circumventing the process and creating his own rules and then the law as to how a sitting member of Parliament should be invited and treated as a suspect in any case whatsoever. In fact, they shredded the previous day's statement, a detailed one that the Speaker wrote. In fact, the Speaker has been out of the country for the whole, I think he left the country last week, Wednesday, and he's still not back. I'm sure he should be back by the weekend. Together with a majority leader and then a minority leader, they're out of the country. But before he left, he had written those statements and the statements were issued by his legal advisor, the parliamentary legal advisor, detailing the processes and all that, which was an agreement they all had. And yesterday's own appeared to be a shift from the agreement that they had. Look, this is about all of us. Even though the Speaker is not a member of the House, he leads or he superintends over the House.
That's right.
And Speaker Bagbin, as we all know him, he is a colossus. He knows so much about parliamentary work and the processes. In fact, he was the deputy speaker, the second deputy speaker when Professor Michael Quay made that directive on the Mahama Yariga case, when he wrote to the Chief Justice about it. And on assumption of office, the Speaker had written to the Chief Justice, and then I think the IGP at the time, yes, on how he expects all of them to work together. So he felt that it was a departure from it. Hence, him issuing that statement, and the police subsequently had tried to go and arrest Sosu over there, which they themselves said that they did not send them. They were not from their outfit.
But then again, people have argued from outside Parliament that the privileges granted to parliamentarians, qualified privilege, absolute privilege, whichever it is, does not relate to criminal proceedings, and that the MP should have obliged the police's invitation, even though there is a process, as has been re-echoed by many members of Parliament, that before an MP is arrested, the leave should be sought from the Speaker. What do MPs make of these two positions?
Look, if you ask them, because it affects them, and one thing is very clear, if it affects MPs, all of them, they are united in it. That's how come yesterday appeared to be a shift from the position or that agreement or the gentleman agreement that they all have. if you speak to them, they will tell you that, look, all that's going on, they do not support it. The arrest of their colleague MP, they do not support it. In fact, they don't even wish that he's dragged before the court.
Right.
Because if it's happened to him today, tomorrow if it's 10, it can happen to them as well. So if you listen to them, they are quite cautious even of the commentary that they make on it. But if they put on their political lenses, the discourse is different, but they don't want to go on record with that.
Okay.
It tells you that they pick and choose as and when to say what and all that. But the bigger issue has to do with some interpretation that should bring finality to this, because this appears to be quite a long drawn. Yes.
Okay.
This appears to be quite a lengthy one, because in the Mahama Yariga case, we didn't get this full length of a back and forth that the police would have
was it
with the legislature.
Was it because perhaps in the Mahama Yariga case and some other Amoating and a couple of others, the police didn't move in brazenly to want to, if you like, bundle the MP into a vehicle to whisk him away and all of that? Was it because of that?
It presupposes so, but at the end of the day, the target is to make an arrest, which they feel, as an MP, they should not be arrested, especially in front of their constituents. One, it's either it's humiliation, disrespectful, and contempt. But the issue is, how do we define somebody being an MP on his way to Parliament for parliamentary work, or on his way from
Parliament?
Yes. How do we define it? Let's
go to the Supreme Court for that interpretation. But again, we know that the MPs made a strong case to have bodyguards, police bodyguards. Now, with the interdiction of Sosu's bodyguard, the inspector, who we are told misconducted himself in the eyes of the police, but for him, he was protecting the subject, okay, that he's been assigned to protect. Agreeably, some say it will drop or break the confidence of the police generally, but inside Parliament, those guarding MPs, how do they feel about the interdiction of this man was trying to protect the MP who he is mandated to protect, but in the end, we're told he drove dangerously through a crowd, and so he's been interdicted? If
you speak to them, a lot of them are not happy about it. At least the few I have spoken to in confidence tell me that it is not a good thing. Yes, their number one employer being the state, represented by the IGP or the police administration, yes, they have employed them. But if they are guarding an MP, they guarding an MP was not on their own volition. They gave them the option that, yes, you can have a guard, but it has to be done through the Parliamentary Protection
Unit.
Yes, of the Ghana Police Service. But if you look at it, you will realize that the bodyguards have a kind of relationship with the MPs that they guard.
Right.
And on the face of it, you can tell that you cannot just ask me or say be over here to be a guard to you.
Because if I have to be a guard, they also have a right to determine who becomes their bodyguard. They choose.
They gave them those options. In fact, I remember the Minister of Interior at the time, this was in the 7th Parliament, Ambrose Derry, when he spoke about it, he said they will give them the option. It could be your brother, it could be a relative, could be a relation to you. But at the end of the day, once the person is within the police service, that option is given to them. But it has to be sanctioned. And they went through the administrative process for it. But the concern they raised is, if I am guarding you as an MP, and then my appointing authority, the person who is giving me a job here in the Ghana Police Service, are coming to make or to pick you up as an MP, my foremost duty is to protect you as my MP. There's a limit to which they'll go. But the questions that they will have to ask you, do you have a warrant? And if you have a warrant, what is the reasons for those arrests? The number one priority is for him to protect that MP. Was the said MP doing that at the time of the demonstration.
Right.
That is what we all do not know. In fact, the police is saying, from what I knew over the weekend before the interdiction, the police said he was the one that prevented the senior officers from effecting that arrest, and he was also the one who allegedly drove the MP's cars. We know some of the guards do drive the MPs.
Right.
Some of them also don't drive. The MPs themselves drive, and the guards are by them. But was he the one who drove it? We do not know until that is also established. So if you speak to them, they will tell you that it appears it's a bit unfair to them as guards, because his foremost duty is to give protection to that MP.
Okay, so we're wrapping up, and we also do understand that notice of private members' motion. A motion, two motions have been admitted. One comes right on the back of the fact that questions about the COVID-19 spend is being asked, and this is said, well, that this honorable house constitutes a bipartisan parliamentary committee chaired by a member of the minority caucus to inquire into the expenditure made by the government of Ghana in relation to COVID-19 since the outbreak of the pandemic in 2020. And Haruna Idrisu is majority leader. He filed this motion, seconded by Alhaji Mohammed Mubarak Muntaka, who's a chief whip for the minority side, and Dr. Kesalatu Bafosi, who's a ranking member for finance. Also, there's a second motion that says that this honorable house constitutes, as a matter of urgency, a bipartisan committee to investigate allegations of irregularities, leakages of examination papers, and related malpractices in examinations conducted by the West Africa Examinations Council (WAEC) for candidates of the West Africa Secondary School Certificate Examination (WASSCE) from 2011 to 2021, and submit a report to this House for consideration by Dr. Clement Abasanab Apak. He's member of Parliament for Busa South. He's also a ranking member on the deputy ranking member on the Education Committee, and Mr. Peter Nochu Koto is the ranking member of the Education Committee. Yeah. So what's the position? Can this be discussed in public, for example, now that it's been admitted by the speakers? Can we call Apak and Nochu, for example, and start interviewing them?
Well, we can do that, but their limitation is they cannot go into details, because one, it needs to be first read on the floor. If it's read, then they might either refer it to the appropriate committee to do that investigation. Okay. But once it's been admitted and it's in the order paper, it's an official document for the public can discuss it, but with them specifically, because they are the sponsors of the bill for this investigation, they probably might be limited on their discussing this particular one. But this comes on the hill of the Education Watch monitoring watch report on this. You recall, I think about 2 or 3 months ago, that there's been leakages all over. Kofi Asare has been on the news and elsewhere making so many things. They feel that it is quite unfair, that there has to be some end to this, that Parliament will need to exert its authority.
We need to go. Well, coincidentally, yesterday, while the Africa Education Watch, Kofi Asare and his team were holding a press conference to give a report of what their investigations have proven, and they've had a back and forth with WAEC over that. WAEC first admits, WAEC says it is not it, back and forth. Kofi Asare them insists they go to WAEC and all of that. Well, now the matter is in Parliament, so your representatives, our representatives, will be taking a look at it. But that's all from inside Parliament. Happy birthday to Bubune Chikata, former GMB Queen, and she was first runner-up. Also, she's the CEO of Davies Peanut and Peanut Butter. We wish you all the best, and also to you, Sir Obama and Pokwasi, you're an MPP strong foot soldier, member of AFA. That's what you call the group. Happy birthday to you. If it's your birthday as well, happy birthday to you. Thanks to Grandpa Clothing in Dansoman for my outfit. Call him 020-985-5696. And remember to wear your poppy. It's for our veterans, those who gave their lives and sacrificed enough to make sure that we continue to enjoy the peace and stability of this country. Let's support them with our widow's might and make sure to make Ghana great and strong one more time. We're going live on Community Connect. at 9 a.m. on 3FM 92.7. You know how we do it. Join me and let's go. But coming up next is Hot Bay.